Hi, I'm Daphne Richards. Our question this week is why plants that are reliably winter hardy in the landscape may not make it through the winter in pots. I was really excited when we got this question, since most people don't think to ask, but just assume that their container plant died from the top freezing back. When plants are in containers, the roots are actually more exposed to temperature and other climatic extremes. Soil is actually quite insulating, so being planted in the ground provides a measure of protection from the elements, at least for the roots. If a plant is listed as hardy into your actual USDA zone, that would be appropriate for being planted in the landscape, not in a container. The top may freeze back, but if the plant is able to return from the roots, one of the descriptive characteristics of plants known as horticultural perennials, the winter is easily survived. In a container, heat's rapidly radiated away, so if you have winter-hardy plants in pots that die back to the ground in winter, consider moving them into your garage for the winter season, or at least overnight on the coldest nights. And this concept of soil having insulating properties should also be remembered when protecting tender landscape plants from extra cold nights. When you cover your plants, be sure to enclose the base of the soil, which will radiate heat into the air around the plant, thus protecting it, and weigh down the sides so that no cold air can get into your protected bubble. Our plant of the week is potato, which is easier to grow than you might think, as described beautifully by CTG viewer and Travis County Master Gardener Caroline Homer. Last year, she ordered Kennebec and red Pontiac seed potatoes in mid-January. She kept the potatoes in the dark until February 7th, about a week before planting. She cut anything bigger than a goose egg in half, making sure there were eyes on each piece. Then she dipped the cut ends into sulfur to prevent rot. She put them on a tray indoors in a sunny spot to get the eyes to sprout. In mid-February, she planted them in a 4x8 raised bed about 8 to 10 inches apart and barely covered them with soil. When the potatoes sprouted leaves on stalks about 6 inches tall, she covered them with garden soil up to the very top leaves. She covered with row cover during the freeze, but still got damage. Luckily, the plant sprouted new leaves. As the leaf stalks grew, she hilled them up with more soil until the bed was full to the top and watered deeply about once every week or so if rain didn't come. On May 7th, she rummaged around and got new potatoes. The early red potatoes were much bigger than the mid-season Kennebec, so she left the Kennebecs alone for another month. As with other vegetables, plant potatoes in full sun and water regularly through the growing season. Be careful not to overwater, as the succulent tubers will rot. Our viewer picture this week comes from Jason Lance of a gorgeous red admiral butterfly on cilantro flowers. Remember this inspirational photo in late spring, when your cilantro has bolted and might even be covered with aphids. Those flowers are very important for butterflies and other insect pollinators. Thanks, Jason. We'd love to hear from you, so please head on over to krlu.org/ctg to send us your questions and photos from your garden.